What do you guys think is like one thing that I could be doing better on the channel right now?
Well, let's pop it open. Let's do a live channel audit right now.
Okay. Yeah.
This is gonna be sick.
Okay, so number one, let's talk about titles. How do you think of titles?
So I used to just like do living with and then do the device, but now I come up with the title beforehand for like the story. So like the Pixel Buds, Music Lovers Beware. It's like me tapping into the people that may buy this for music, but now they're like, oh no, like should I not? And then the entire video is based around that.
Yeah, so I think there's some interesting things here. Like you are speaking, in my opinion, you're speaking to an audience that has to know you to click on these videos.
Okay.
In a lot of these instances. And I think that you can have a healthy balance of speaking to your core super fans and then speaking to the fans that like might come across this video.
Yeah.
And so there's an interesting scale, right? Let me look at some videos from a month ago. Your OnePlus 8 review has 32,000 views. Your OnePlus Nord camera versus Samsung has 101,000 views. Your Pixel 4a My Thoughts has 8,900 views. Those are all within the same month.
Yeah.
And 3 drastically different viewership levels. The one in the middle that has 100,000 views, you are suggesting something in there where you're comparing different devices. The comparison of the devices is inherently a conflict, correct? Because I have to know one versus the other versus the other.
Yeah.
Now the other two on the, I'm looking at this, I could screenshot it for you. The other two are just you in the thumbnail, basically suggesting that I'm just going to watch you and your thoughts.
That's interesting.
So that already is going to have a smaller audience, right? Because you haven't suggested any sort of conflict, any sort of transformation, any sort of like reason that I would watch this till the end. You're only suggested something for your core fans who want to spend time with you. So that is like the first thing that I notice is that you need to pull out what makes tech transformational. And you need to think about that exercise that we do in our course called headlines, and think about like before you put out a video, write 10 different titles for the video.
Okay.
Like don't leave it at one. Pixel 4a My Thoughts.
Quite basic.
You have a price on there, right? You have a price on there. So what's transformational? Price? Is it worth it? That's a question that incites a little bit more conflict, right? $350 smartphone. Is it worth it? I don't know. There's probably like you could just start to brainstorm deeper into that.
Yeah. Or considering that comparison works, can you compare the Pixel 4a to another type of phone? And even though the goal is still to address the Pixel 4a, you loop people in by adding drama and tension by incorporating another phone.
What do you think about the OnePlus 8 Pro video, for example, has 114,000 views. And that's like a super basic 2 months ago, right near the A51. And if I look at that and then I look at the A51 video, those videos have completely different views. And I would say like the thumbnail's pretty similar and the title's the same. And obviously interest level and device is different, but do you think that there's another, like, was that title strong or was it just that there was high interest in that video?
In my opinion, you're relying on the device, right?
Okay.
And the interest in the device. So there's part of it where you just have to sink in to the fact that there might be a smaller audience for one device versus another device.
Yeah, that's valid.
That's just part of your reality. And when you're reliant on that, that's going to be, something that we've gone through before, where we used to really structure the breakdown around specific creators, and there was different audience levels for those creators.
Of course, yeah.
And that was the reality, right? And so if your clickbait is a device, then you're reliant on the audience for that device. So you have to start to think about like, what makes this interesting if you're not into this device? What are some other descriptors that I can, base this around? Because if I don't know the term A51, then this video is not for me. So you've just cut out a huge portion of people, even if they're interested in tech, even if they're interested in a mobile device, you're relying on A51. So what are you going to rely on? Like in our video where we want to break through to the industry and say, hey, direct to consumer content is coming. This is the biggest opportunity for creators. Who's in the thumbnail? Cardi B. You know what I mean? It's like we're enticing you with something that's we back up, but it allows us to then bring in like the biggest possible audience to come into our world. So I think that's what you have to think of. It's like, what is the opportunity for you to bring in the biggest possible audience? And then how do you make sure in the first like 10, 15, 30 seconds that you are engaging them in a way that's going to keep them to the end, like creating a structure that's going to keep them to the end.